Rightio, everybody. Hello, welcome back for another episode of Drive Time. Yes, episode 10, the magic number 10. We've got a very special guest on. It is, of course, Club Racing's very own Nick Holmes. Nick, how are you, my friend? I feel like it's been too long.
Good evening, Ian. How are you doing? Yeah, we were just saying that off air, weren't we? It's been feels so familiar. Yeah, it does feel like we've not done this for a little while actually, and let's sit down and chat together. So yeah, it's good to catch up with everybody.
It's very nice background. I see you managed to get a few trophies just knocked in there
just cramming in as much as I can, race car pictures and trophies and whatnot. So yeah,
just
it's only a very small metal piece. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's not to size. It's not to size, everyone.
No.
Nick, of course, the purpose of Drive Time is to get to know more about people involved in motorsport. From it can be race drivers, it can be mechanics, it can be media, it can be any side at all. You're involved in all of it, aren't you? It's probably a silly question. I imagine everybody knows what your involvement in motorsport, but for those who don't know you, Nick, which I can't imagine is really anybody, what is your involvement in motorsport?
Oh, you make it sound like I'm famous.
You are.
No, far from it. So yeah, for anyone who isn't familiar with my ugly mug, my name's Nick, and obviously I run Club Racing UK with my good friend Stefan Marsh. We are effectively the go-to cool place for social media side of club racing around the UK, really. So we just cover everything that's happening around the track. Obviously, right now off season, not a lot's going on. So we just try to get G'd up, posting, social media outgoings, people's builds, cool deals. We just try and hopefully are the go-to hub effectively.
Yeah, I was going to say that as well. Actually, if you do become a member of Club Racing, there are a load of sort of good deals involved, aren't there? You've got a lot of partners who can really help out. So whether you're a novice looking to get in motorsport for the first time, or you're an experienced hand at it, it is actually a good place to go, isn't it? Club Racing.
Yeah. So that I mean, it all stemmed from the fact that when I first wanted to get into motorsport back in, it was nothing but a pipe dream back in 2012-ish. It was obviously the other side of the fence, and then people were like, well, why don't you just get involved? So started looking to get involved, and turns out it's actually a lot easier than things. You certainly don't need to be laced with the all important money, but then at the same time we started to realize that it is looked at as an elite sport, and there's a lot of people up there that are spending tons and tons of money to get involved, having the most Gucci outfits and the best tires. And we suddenly realized, in actual fact, there's so many small companies out there that don't necessarily get a look in that. And then just as the club started to snowball into what it has become now, that is, hopefully we help those guys out and show to everybody that motorsport's expensive. We've said it countless times together, but you can racing and get involved in motorsport a lot cheaper than everybody says you can. And that's still our ethos today, really.
It's very true. Very true indeed. That's certainly my experience of it as well. Yes, it's you're not going to be able to go racing for a tenner, but if you're serious about going racing, it's well worth it.
But so I don't think you could do a better weekend. There's not a better weekend out there.
No, there certainly isn't. Well, look, you're the perfect person to ask this next question then, Nick, because like you said, since 2012, you've been one side of the barrier, now you're the other side of the barrier. You run, of course, Club Racing UK with Stefan Marsh. So heading into 2023, then we've come through COVID, haven't we? We're going through price increases and everything at the minute. How strong do you feel the club racing scene is in the UK then, heading into this season?
So I think, as we saw, obviously, we go back with COVID, obviously, you could see everybody was, you henpecked everybody and put them into a little hole. The good old British public will always say, no, I'm going racing. And we saw the massive boom from COVID of, record club level grid sizes. Most grids were like 45 cars plus, reserve lists of, another 10, 20, 30 cars. So it was absolutely booming, obviously, with the price increase and the cost of living. I see it two ways, really. Is people are still going to want to go racing. I think it'll, the lower half of the people, myself included, really, that don't necessarily, that do racing on a shoestring. It's us guys that get hit hard. It becomes tighter. Yeah. So I think you'll see people peter out like that. But as you're aware, you've been around enough paddocks now. There's people out there with what seems like infinite cash um, and infinite funds and things like that. And you know, I believe the club racing scene is still booming. You know, we've seen some record grids from some organisers last year still. But people want to go racing. It's not going to dry up. I don't think. You'll just see the lower number grids and the people doing it on a shoestring, just working that a little bit harder to get there, I think.
Yeah, I think very well said. It does look like it's in a reasonably good place considering everything that's going on, of course, but the season hasn't started yet. So I guess the proof will be in the pudding sort of by June. We'll be able to work out. There's a lot of good noises coming out the clubs for grid sizes, but signing up to say you're going to do it and then actually turning up at a racetrack is a very your car and everything's a very different thing, isn't it?
There's one thing I've learned. You can have the best laid plan in the world and it will go to pot very quickly after one single race weekend. So we will see how it goes for everybody.
It's happened. It'll happen again. Let's move from the club racing scene and let's go a little bit further up the pyramid, shall we say, right to the very top. Let's take a little look at some of the more elite sports, shall we, in motorsport, Formula One, Formula Indycar, NASCAR. There are others, of course, I've just listed. There's a character limit on what I could put in there. But which, in your opinion, offers the best all-round value? And when it's a very open question. I appreciate it's quite a difficult one, of course. But when we're looking at fans here, we're looking at sponsors. You're involved with sponsorship as well. Yeah. You're involved, obviously, with fans. You're obviously involved with teams and you're a race driver yourself. And career prospects, media, mechanics, that type of thing. Is there one particular thing, if it was you, that you would look, I think that's where I'm going to have more success?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, I'm going to say the club level stuff is fantastic for everybody, but no, that's quite a tricky question. When I was reading through them, I was like, so for accessibility and things like that, I think the things like BTCC and dread to say even like TCR, things like that you can get involved, you can get up close and personal with the drivers and, paddocks, and it's quite a reasonable cost to go watching some of the homegrown top tier stuff. When you look at the likes of Formula One and stuff in the nicest way possible, it's biblical. You can't get within, 10 meters of anybody or any cars or anything like that. And it costs you, I think talking to someone about this the other day, and I think trying to get a pass to Silverstone for like a family of 4 was like nigh on $1,000 for a weekend. And you're like, it's bonkers. So that kind of stuff is.
And you don't get. There's no accessibility at Formula One. There's zero accessibility from the sponsorship side of things.
Yeah.
Obviously, the reach is there. The global appeal is there. But unless you do have that millions, Formula One is you forget it. Okay?
Yeah, that's top. That's a different level kind of thing. So I mean, I would say BTCC still. Yeah. I hate to say it. I hate to say it. I'm a fan of all kind of racing, but I genuinely think at the moment, if we're looking at the top tier, like what I would class as more above national kind of racing and stuff, I'd say TCR is coming. I genuinely think it's the racing's getting there now with big grids. It's still in its infancy, so obviously people are still getting involved, but you only have to look at I like the TCR package in the fact that across the world it's almost super touring era again, isn't it? Cars to similar specs, so you can you see I get you there with the super touring.
Well, as you know, I've been involved with the classic. I saw you at Silverstone for the classic touring car. I remember the super touring. Oh my god, it's a wet dream, that isn't it?
It is, isn't it? But the great thing is the TCR cars don't look too dissimilar from your more modern road cars and things like that now. I think BTCC still, it's you've got access to the paddock and things like that, and you can see so much. And obviously with the heritage of BTCC, it's come a long way since. But I think with the new hybrid stuff and all of that going on, it's I don't know, maybe losing touch a little bit. But
I would keep an eye. I think you're very savvy there. I would keep an eye on TCR over the next few years. It wasn't so long ago. I was at Alton Park. I can't remember what I was doing. I wasn't doing TCR, but they only had about 6 cars on the grid. How it's transformed over the last few years, it really has. And I agree, TCR. And it helps on Stuart as well. Stuart Lyons, very good leadership as well for TCR there. So they're in very good hands there too. So yes, watch out for TCR. If you get a chance to go to the meeting this year, by the way.
I'm not going to say what everybody else says to it, but you hear a lot of murmurs through the paddock of it's I'm not going to say it because it'll upset the BTCC guys, won't it?
Maybe we'll do that on a podcast one day.
Yeah, maybe.
Actually, that would make a very good podcast, wouldn't it?
It would actually,
yeah. Nick, let's get our crystal ball out, shall we, and gaze into the future. With everything that's going on in the world, we know there's a bit of a financial crisis at the minute. We know there's the rise of EV, or is it going to be EV? Is it going to be alternate fuels? Who knows? Where do you think the landscape of motorsport is going in the next 5 to 10 years?
So again, it's one of those. We've had this discussion before, haven't we? It's no hiding from the fact that modern technology, EVs. You've even got JCB knocking on the door now with hydrogen powered combustion engines. Obviously, we're going to see future tech trickling down. How old is an EV car now? You've got hybrids and EVs that are 10, 15 years old now. So you'll probably start seeing someone, being able to pick them up relatively cheap, and then someone turning them into a race car, and you'll start seeing that. Obviously, you've got the likes of the BRSCC's new Formula E foundations coming through. So there's no denying things like that are going to appearing, especially at club level stuff. But at the same time, again, there's your hardy classics. You've got your true petrol heads, true fans. I'm one of those myself, as you will not catch me in an EV in any way, shape, or form. Mainly, I can't afford it, but mainly the fact it's you can't beat the sounds and smells and all the atmosphere of proper race cars. So do you know
what? I'm not against EVs, Nick, in any sense of the imagination. However, the problem for me is it's just battery life at the minute. It's that's it. Until an EV can do the same amount of mileage as my diesel, then no, I could do 600 miles in my diesel. Like EV, I can do 250, if that.
That's exactly that. It is exactly that. So, I say some EVs have been out for quite a while now, but it is still very in its infancy. And again, the cost of it, even the older stuff, you think, it'll last forever and ever and ever, and then the batteries die, and you're like, oh great, now I've got to shell out for an entire tank of batteries for my car, and that cost me the
price of the car.
So they're still flawed. I mean, even the combustion engine's flawed though, isn't it? So you'll always get your pros and your cons, and you always get people going, oh, this is a pro this and pro, con that, but I think going forward, you've got your classic guys, you've got your people that are your hardy classics. You only have to look at the likes of the modified Ford series, things like that, where you've just got people that still swoon over a Mark 1 Escort and various other bits like that. So there's timeless classics, but I think 5 to 10 years, that's still quite a short period. It'll be when like my kids, the younger generations that only know EVs, only know this new technology, unless us dads and lads and mums and all of that lot force feed the classic stuff into the small kids, we'll start losing it. And it will happen. Hopefully I'll be long gone by the time. Hopefully though, I will say this, I will, if I'm going to get behind anything, I'll get behind. Do you remember the game Wipeout on PlayStation?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Flying ships. Now that I'll get behind.
Well, that cool. Already exists. Airspeeder. You ever seen Airspeeder?
I haven't.
Check that out, by the way, because that is basically like Wipeout. It's called Airspeeder. It's a brand new thing. They've just secured a broadcast deal as well. So check that out, Airspeeder.
I might check that out then. If it looks cool and it's entertaining, then it'll be.
It looks cool. It looks cool.
A prime example, I will say this, is it the electric touring cars?
Right. Okay.
Or the ETCC, I think it's called. They've been trying to promote it for. I've seen several videos now over the last, throughout 2022, and there was 3 cars, and it was just. I'm sorry if anyone is watching. Please let me know what you think of it, because I thought it was the most dreary thing I've ever watched in my life.
There is a case of being a bit too ahead of the curve, isn't there? Sometimes, and sometimes
it's the thing that made me laugh is you got they put the cameras inside the cars, and you're like, here's the guys doing their pedal work, and it's like go and a stop pedal, and 3 cars on a grid. And, I don't know. I'm old school.
Tried to jazz it up. The old school, Nick. Old school. Well, let's bring it all full circle, shall we? Come back to you. What does 2023 hold in store? You're going to see a trackside of it this year, Nick?
Yes, I'm never far from a racetrack when I'm not working normally. Hopefully, I'll be back behind the wheel of a race car this year. We've got some really cool plans coming up. We've got some good race car reviews coming, which I'm really excited for.
Awesome.
I don't know if you can see in the picture, but I know I've been saying it for months and years now, but the trusty Vauxhall Vectra is on its way back.
I've never seen it in the
If
flesh,
anyone,
you know, the Vectra. I've never seen it in the
well,
flesh. I need to.
yeah, don't look too closely. I'll say that much. But no, if anyone has been watching anyone who is familiar with Club Racing UK, obviously we do our little YouTube channels and videos, and Steph's done a mega job of wrapping the car. But we were on it last night, and it's so close. It's so close to like the big bits that we need to do with it. So, but yeah, we'll always be trackside. We'll be covering. We'll be doing. We've got a new series or several series and championships to review. We've got race car reviews coming. We'll be doing our usual vlogging, and I'm sure, no doubt, Steph will be behind the wheel of a few cars this year as well. So
fantastic stuff.
An exciting one ahead.
It certainly is. Make sure if you do see Nick trackside, give him a wave, won't you? And,
come on. Yeah.
Go on, Nick. Go on.
Yeah. Waves, hugs, high fives. I'm all game for all of those.
Exactly. COVID's gone now, almost.
Yeah,
so,
bring it in. Bring in the love.
We can bring it in. Bring it in. Bonus question, Nick. The most important question you'll get asked, of course, is this one. What's better, tea or coffee?
Tea all day long.
Ooh, okay.
Fact.
It was going so well. Right, it was going so well this interview.
I don't like coffee. I don't like coffee.
No.
I say it to people and they look at me like I've got two heads, but I don't. Coffee is a drink. Disgusting. I can eat coffee sweets, coffee cake. I love all of that, but the drink, don't like it.
You need a more mature palate, Nick. That's what you need for coffee.
Well, you say that. It's the same as I'm not into my like ales or brews and like proper homegrown beers and things. I just it's horrible. I've got a sweet tooth. So
I'm going to take you for a nice real ale one day and force it down you. You'll like it.
Oh, you won't. Horrible stuff.
Nick, thanks so much for joining us. Drive Time episode 10. Anybody watching wants to find out more about Club Racing UK, we have posted the link to the website in the body of this broadcast wherever you're watching it. So please do give it a click. It's so worth checking out. You can join memberships. They're cheap, isn't it, as well, Nick?
Yeah, so we do a membership scheme, obviously we said earlier. So it's £3 a month or £30 for the year. We've got a ton of discounts on there. So if you are looking to go racing, you're looking to, I don't know, buy radio kits or cheaper harnesses, just it'll save you some pennies, and it's well worth it. You get priority content, and sometimes we do competitions as well, and you get to win free race entries, cameras. We do all sorts of giveaways as well, so it's well worth it.
It is well worth signing up. Nick, I'm going to let you go. You look after yourself, won't you?
I will. I'm going to go finish my tea and find some hobnobs.
Good man. Nick Holmes, thank you very much. Take care.
Thank you. Take it easy, guys.